All right, everybody, welcome to DiveVibe. I'm Zach, and today we're going to be talking about all of the Shearwater computers. Mostly. So stay tuned. All right, before we get started, how did I get all these dive computers? Do I own all these Shearwaters? No, I own the Nerd and I own the Petrol. Those two are mine. The rest of them came from my friends. Two of them were on loan to me from Jack's Diving Locker. They were their demo units, so thank you very much, Jack's Diving Locker. That's also where I suggest you go to buy any of these computers. If you can, link in the description to their web store where you can find all of them. And if you decide to buy one, in the comments, write DiveVibe send me. First person to do it gets a shout out in the next video, and I'll make sure they put some swag in the box for you. Oh, and free shipping. So I have to thank Jack's Diving Locker for loaning me those two computers, and the Perdix is from my buddy Jimmy. Thanks, Jimmy. All right, so if you've been diving for a while, then you've probably heard of Shearwater Computers, or maybe even if you just started diving, you might have heard of Shearwater Computers. They're getting extremely popular, and they are popular for very good reason. They're very well made, innovative, they're rugged, they're just a great product all around. And I happen to have all of them right here. All of them, you know, within reason. I've got one of each model, so I don't have like a Perdix and a Perdix AI. I've just got a Perdix AI. You know, I don't have a Nerd 2 Fisher and then a regular Nerd 2. I've just got the Nerd 2 Fisher. But I have the highest end version of each of these computers. So let's take a look at them. So I'm gonna be doing these in order mostly from highest price to lowest price. And I'll kind of go, we'll talk about what features you lose when you go for a less expensive computer and what you're getting with the more expensive computers and stuff like that. But let's just go ahead and get started. I'm gonna start with the Nerd 2. The Nerd, or Near Eye Remote Display, is basically identical to the other Shearwater computers like the Perdix and the Petrol, except for it's shrunk down onto a tiny little screen that sits about this far away from your eye, giving you kind of a heads-up display, and it's extremely useful when you're diving a rebreather. You can have this thing connected up and it'll be reading your PO2 on your cells. You'll have the information right there. Number one rule of rebreather diving, know your PO2, right? This is what I use with my KISS Sidewinder, actually with both of my rebreathers, and I love this thing. I don't have the Shearwater mount on it. I've got the mount that Tony Land from Dive Tech 3D prints through Shapeways. You can go, I'll put a link in the description to that website if you're looking to get one of these. They're excellent. They're super low profile. A good deal cheaper than the actual Shearwater Nerd mount, but the Shearwater Nerd mount is standard, I think, no matter what. I don't think you can buy it without it, so you can't save any money that way. But I like this thing a lot, and I've got a BOV right behind me. This isn't the one I'm using most of the time, but this baby basically just attaches just like that. Okay. So why would you want a Nerd over the other Shearwater computers? Well, if you're diving a rebreather, this may in fact be the one that you want, because you get all the information right in front of your face. The Fisher version is $19.95, which is kind of expensive. You could buy a MacBook for that, but once you get into technical diving, throw saving money out the window. I mean, you don't need to be foolish, but it's technical diving, man. Anyway, Nerd 2, bonus point. If you're ever diving with your buddies and you don't want them to know you're lost, but you need to use your compass, no one can see you using your compass on this. Huh? All right, next up we have the Petrol 2 EXT. It does not come mounted to a slate like this. Ed Sorensen came up with this, and I'm just giving it a shot. It's pretty nice. It's nice to be able to just flip your computer away and write a quick message on there, or have your decompression profile back here, your runtime or whatever. It's a nice way to set it up. So Petrol 2, what does it do? So it's the only other computer from Shearwater that's currently in production that can monitor your PO2, meaning it can communicate with the cells in your rebreather and monitor your PO2. That's what I use it for. That's why I've got this Fisher port on here. If you don't need this, you could get the non-Fisher version, but if you're ever thinking about getting into rebreather diving, there's a good chance that you'll be able to use one of these as a primary with a KISS rebreather or whatever, or a backup for other rebreathers. A lot of times you can just plug a Fisher cable in and you've got a backup computer. So if this thing, you buy this thing, you spend a little bit extra to get the Fisher port, you can dive it without having it connected. But you do still need to make sure that you kind of check it out and pull the plug out every once in a while, drip a little mineral oil in there and make sure that it's good and clean, because you don't want that Fisher port getting messed up. Fun fact about Fisher ports is they actually weren't designed with diving in mind, so we're kind of just making them work. So you really gotta baby them and be nice to them. I've had this computer for 6 years or so, and it has done me very well. It's my daily diver. I used this when I was guiding. This thing's got a ton of dives on it. It's been back to Shearwater, back to the factory service center, because I've broken it more than one time and they always fix it for me. Now you might be thinking to yourself, Zach, you're a liar. And to that I would say, you little shit. This computer was purchased 6 years ago, and that was before they started including the titanium bezel. So why does mine have it? Because when I sent it back for service, they added the titanium bezel at no additional cost. And that's the kind of service that you can expect from Shearwater. In fact, I didn't finish closing the battery door on this one time and flooded the computer. Totally my fault. I sent it back to Shearwater expecting them to charge me for a new module or something like that and repair it. You know what they said? They said, we actually changed the way that works for our future computers. It's a barrel seal instead of a pressure seal. So you know what? Our bad, we'll take care of it for you. And they totally fixed my computer. Basically gave me a brand new computer, same shell, but new board and all that good stuff. And man, you just don't find service like that all that often these days. So man, fantastic. Love this computer. Oh, this is my baby. This is my baby. Next up, Teric. This thing rules. The Teric is, in my opinion, the best wristwatch style dive computer that you can get. If you want a computer with smartwatch capabilities, this isn't it. It's just a watch out of the water. It doesn't do anything like that. You would want to look to the Garmin Descent. I think that's probably the best. I own one of those. It's a pretty great computer. But if you're just looking for a dive computer, I still think this would be my preference for just a wristwatch style dive computer. It's not too bad. By the way, the Petrol 2 1207 with the Fisher port and 867 without the Fisher port. This one is actually that's a pretty good deal. $11.50 for this beast. This is I mean, that's really not that bad for how much you're getting in a dive computer. It feels super overbuilt. It's really nice. There's tons of selection for wrist straps, which is always fun. Wireless charging on this, so most of the other Shearwaters are taking AA batteries. The Nerd has a charger that sticks onto the back of it. I've actually got that right here. Sorry, kind of jumping around a little bit, but yeah, this just hooks onto the back of the Nerd, and that's how that charges. All right, back to the Teric. So wireless charging on this bad boy, all the functionality. The one thing this has over all the other computers is a free diving mode. I'm not much of a free diver, so I can't really comment on the quality of the free diving mode, but I believe it's good. If you're a free diver and you've got one of these or used one, let me know in the comments how it worked, because I bet it was awesome. All right, this one is definitely the most prolific Shearwater computer out there. There's a lot of them. This is the Shearwater Perdix. This is the AI version, but this is one of the best dive computers that you can get for the money. This thing will do just about everything. It'll do open circuit rec, open circuit tech. It'll do rebreather. It won't communicate with your rebreather, meaning it won't know your PO2. Basically, you program in what your PO2 is gonna be. You make sure that your rebreather matches the PO2 manually or with your ECCR or whatever you're doing. One of the things that's really cool about these is that you can put your own custom home screen on it. So you can put an image on here, you can put your phone number, so if anybody finds your computer, they can call you and let you know where it is. But it's just kind of fun. Like on mine, I had something that says like all systems nominal, and it looks like cool because I'm a big old nerd. The Nerd. This computer, the AI version, along with the Taric and the Nerd, can actually read their transmitters. So fun fact, Shearwater just came out with a new transmitter called the Shearwater Swift. Looks pretty cool. It's a great price. check that out. And this bad boy runs $995 for the AI version and $900 for the regular version. All right, last but not least, this is definitely, I was very excited about this computer when it came out because it was a real game changer. This Shearwater Peregrine is only $495. So I've been trying to talk people into Perdix's for a long time, just because I think they're one of the best dive computers out there. But if you're not gonna do technical diving, then it's kind of a hard sell because it's almost $1,000. And it really has a lot of features that you might not use. This guy, however, if you're a recreational diver, this is your baby right here. This thing is $495. That's the new price, and you cannot beat it. Full color screen, nice quality buttons. It will do some gas switching, technical diving, but it's limited to like air and nitrox mixes, no trimix or anything like that. No rebreather functionality. So if you're planning on doing trimix or rebreather diving down the road, go ahead and get yourself a Perdix. You'll be happy you did, because even if you plan on using a Petrol 2 or a Nerd that's hardwired in, you can still use the Perdix as a backup. So great reason to have one of those. It'll grow with you, it'll last a long time. But if you're not gonna do any of that stuff, then this is your baby right here. Or even just like you're not sure and you don't really want to spend all that extra money, just grab this. You're gonna be super happy with this. If nothing else, you can use it for your recreational diving if you get into technical diving eventually. Or sell it, because Shearwaters hold their value like crazy. It's amazing. Have you ever tried to buy a used Shearwater? Don't, it's stupid. You try to buy a 10-year-old Petrol or something like that and somebody wants 800 bucks for it. You know why? Because it still is awesome. That's definitely a huge selling point for these computers. Resale value, it's amazing. This thing, I really wish there was a way that you could feel it, because it just feels so good and high quality. This is also wireless charging, so that's pretty freaking sweet. Just the same 2-button interface like all the other computers except for the Taric. But man, I tell you what, you really don't need much else. I love this thing. All right, well, hopefully I helped you figure out which Shearwater you need in your life. If you enjoyed the video or you learned something, go ahead and hit the like button, because it really helps me out. And if you'd like to see more videos like this or other diving related stuff, hit the subscribe button, because I'm pumping out a new video every week. Leave a comment and let me know what you thought. Let me know what computer you use. And thanks for diving with me today. I'll see you in the water. All right, I almost forgot. We got some stickers to apply. And remember, for every sticker I receive, I'll mail one out.